What's up, everybody? This is your girl Ericka from the Classicon blog coming today. And most of you are at cookouts, goofing off. I don't know how many people are going to come here for this show today, and that's okay. But I just wanted to get it out there because a lot of times, this is a combo show that's going to have some woo. I just want to prepare you. A lot of times, the glitz and the glamour of being on TV and reality stars and movie stars have folks thinking, well, they must be just wealthy beyond their wildest dreams. And I want to kind of pull a little the air out of the balloon and also talk about, you're going to say, Ericka, how does this tie in with financial planning, making more money, income? What is this tying to? And the biggest thing I want to point out is Todd Chrisley, who's been a unique character. One of the things I initially liked about the show is he's in Atlanta. And I've seen Southern men who were a little, okay, be married, have families, and people be like, oh man, he gay. Possibly. you know there's a little bit of that into the story, but what I liked about him, not that part about him being gay, but the fact that his son had made a half black child with this girl, and her family was not in a great situation, which again, careful on that. He took the child over. They just basically took the child in their house, like the child's gonna live here now, and that is what it is. And they've always made sure that girl had her hair done right or took care of her, and that part of the South is what. Right. And so here's the funny part. Many people are like, oh, I didn't even know this was going on. And the reason you didn't know what's going on, because he has an amazing PR team, an amazing PR team. And many of the reality TV shows, HGTV is for particulars, they've had several of their hosts have lawsuits out the yang, but you never heard of it. You just saw DJ the Money Coach ad run here. Awesome. I just turned my ads up another $20. So hopefully we're getting a lot of emails, so we'll see what happens. But the thing about this is, I want you to learn multiple lessons. Okay, so I watched Diamond Dave the other day talking about the rich enjoy getting older. Facts on facts. There is this kind of skew in our society, I think very American society, that everything in life, the most fun you'll have in life, the most pinnacle peak of life is 18 to 25. And everything will just be a magical college party, nonstop party. You're going to become an athlete. You're going to become a musician. You're going to do all these amazing things. And then after that, it's all downhill, right? Right, we've seen people like, oh, he's 30, he ain't married, or she's 30 and she's not married, or she's about to be 40 and she's not married. Things like that show how age focused we are in America. And listen, I'm ageist in here. I'll be picking too. But what we lose sight of is you don't lose value as you get older. You gain value. And that's if you're investing in yourself. Okay, that's part of where this is going. Part of something that bothers me a little bit in the Chrisley show is the role of his wife. Women in general are taught to take no space. I mean, this is culturally a thing in America. Be quiet, look nice, and look nice. Nice equals stupid, essentially. I mean, it just is what it is. A lot of times when we call somebody at work nice, we're kind of calling them gullible, stupid. 19 Keys did a great talk with Ian Duncan, or whatever his name is. And they talked about a lot of times you'll hear a black guy laugh at a joke at work. Some white guy says that if another black guy said it, they'd be fighting. You know what I'm saying? They would have words because, hey, that's Sean and he's nice, right? We're kind of taught to just be quiet, be in the background. And there's some characteristics of their show where he's the man, he's the star, everything's about him, but you never get a grasp on what are their true businesses. Are they just wealthy, independently Southern wealthy white people? It's kind of this marketing department they've put on this family, and I hate it. Now, here's the point of this show. Transitional points are dangerous. This is my number one point on this show. Transitional points are dangerous. We wouldn't have known about this. The feds didn't really care about this. Nobody cared about this. You know who cared about this? An ex-lover. Now he can say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't mess with that man. But no one has enough steam in the boat to go call the feds, look for the feds, hand the feds packages and documents like an ex-lover. Okay. Now, what's going to save? Somebody already cashed out for the show. That's hilarious. Thank you, loyaldetermined.com, for the $20 for the lecture. Thank you for the Cash App. So my biggest thing I want y'all to understand is transitional points are dangerous. There's his business partner, and this is how he's going to get off to. And I'm going to tell y'all all the whole thing. We're going to pull it back one by one. Okay. We have this succession in our culture that as you get older, you lose value. When really, if you look at a lot of, what's her name? That divorced Shaquille O'Neal, Shawnee O'Neal. She is executive producer of hundreds of shows at this point, and she just married a pastor, up and coming pastor. Well, he's more than up, he's pretty famous now, in Houston, Texas, this weekend. And she's going into the 40s, 50s, right? And people say, oh, you know, everything after 40 and 50 is downhill. If you listen to some of these people online who live in this internet world, an obsession with, well, 15's legal, 16's legal, 17, 18, depending on the state, is legal. These people are obsessed with youth, not just because they're turned on, but because their life is a clusterfuck. Their life is not a good life. They have nothing in the future to look forward to. So they turn their energy and focus to youth. When everybody else who's doing well in society is like, man, I can't wait to get 50. I'm going to have this. I'm going to travel around the world. I'm going to have a boat. I'm going to have a summer home. Like, you know what I'm saying? The difference in the conversation is amazing. Okay. So first part is transitional points are dangerous. Now, his original first business partner, they messed around for a year. Okay. And then they said, no, we're just going to be friends. Like, hey, let's cut it out. Already danger point one. Now they're business partners. He said, well, this business partner helped him file for $50 million in loans and fraudulent documents from banks. Y'all, nothing's more dangerous than that, right? That's a danger point. Now, what's going to save him in this trial, which a lot of y'all don't understand what happens when he filed for bankruptcy. This stuff happened in 2019. See, Georgia, y'all think the feds is chasing Young Droth and these rappers, but they hitting everybody. Okay, they hitting everybody. Okay, so 2019, he go, hey, Georgia. Same thing with what's his name, Darius Cooks. When he had the credit company, it was blowing up. It was making millions of dollars, enough money that he could strike off a $145,000 check. Yeah, he was making millions of dollars. They go, hey, Georgia, old boy over here not paying taxes. Now, see, Georgia didn't hear about the banks. Georgia didn't care about all that other stuff. They heard you ain't paying Georgia some taxes. Round him up. We're going to go investigate him. And this is in 2019. Why is this important? Because the PPP. If this hadn't happened in 2019, man, Todd Chrisley probably would have been getting $1 million to $3 million off the PPP. But that's another conversation. Okay. Now, what's going to save him in this argument is these are hearsay things that can't be proven. Right? When they're saying we're going to give you 30 years, man, we're going to do all this stuff. See, this is the problem. They don't want to put rich people in jail. This is a blog. And again, if you're my digital real estate students, this girl is made a blog. This is Bloomberg Tax. This is Taxgirl.com. Okay, so again, y'all got to understand the power of blogs is pretty much where you're going to get a lot of your on the scene data. They're going to say, oh man, the ways you can learn from the IRS assets, Christie's knows best. Now, here's the thing. It's alleged, right? It's a gray area. This is what I want y'all to understand. Everybody out here, a lot of these hoteps and some of these people on the internet, like, yeah, I'm Ubering, DoorDashing, and I'm doing a little this on the side and outside. Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, all these people already turned in your 1099 to the IRS. You not filing taxes on it is where the IRS is sitting there looking at you like, do he see that we already got this paper? Why is he not filing this paper? So y'all out here thinking I'm making an extra $10K a year from Uber. I'm going to do this every year under the radar. See, the IRS don't care if you sell drugs. They don't care if you busting people over the head. They don't care if you robbing people. You're going to pay them the taxes. That's their number one concern. So I want y'all to understand, like, out of everything that's going to not stick on this dude, it will be the tax evasion. Now, like I'm saying, they don't want to put wealthy people in jail because you already see he did the bankruptcy, he filed for it. They immediately, banks forgave $20 million off the rip. Okay, cool. Why? You had 20 PP and all that other stuff going on right there. But then the last $30 million, they're like, nah, man, we need our money. American Express was really like, oh no, we need our money. We need it. It's got to show today. Thanks, DJ the Mini Coach. Okay. People are sending me stuff while I'm on show. Anyway, so what I love about this is this family would have rocked for years. Now, here's what caught them too. This is where I talk about the financial part. They needed to survive a month, $500,000 to $600,000 a month. And the first thing people say, well, what are y'all, Liberace? What is all this money you need? Right? And it's really because the mindset is not, I'm going to keep investing in more assets. I'm going to keep investing in more assets. The mindset was, I'm just going to live big. We're going to live. And this is Atlanta, Georgia, y'all. I'm not trying to be funny, but you can live kind of cheaply in Georgia. They trying to play like it's so expensive, but the house that they have, they could never have in Atlanta. They could never have in LA. They could never have it in New York. They can have it in Georgia. So again, now let's go ahead and hit it up here. Because they're naming off some other people. This how they get you, y'all. It's not, they don't care about the bank loans. They don't care about the money. They care about the taxes. Now let me give you some other examples here. It says the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa and Joe, Italian last name, I ain't gonna butcher it. They were in the news in 2013 because of what? Dozens of felony counts, including conspiracy to commit mail fraud, wire fraud, bank fraud, making false statements on loan applications, bankruptcy fraud. Let's be very clear. That was about taxes. Because these banks know if we send Joey Botafuco, whatever, I'm just messing up his name on purpose, we send him, Mr. Goodfella, to the bank, to jail, all his business relations, all the people that could network with him, all the people that could put him back in good graces and put him back on the right track, they ain't going to touch somebody that went to jail, no matter how good friends they are. Pay attention to what happens when people fall down. People disappear on them. I, to this day, think about 5, 10 people like, hey, man, thank you for standing by. Because even when you can see what happens when the wind shifts, people get left. A lot of people y'all not noticing for this PPP, they lost their businesses. The PPP is what held them up. Them advertising they doing. Yeah, I'm dry snitching. But at the end of the day, they don't care about this. They care about the taxes. So when they failure, again, the biggest thing that held them in court was the failure to file federal income tax. When they pled guilty, most of all that stuff got knocked off. Only thing that was left is Teresa was supposed to did 15 months. We know she ain't doing that. And that they both were ordered to forfeiture assets and pay fines. In 2019, Joe, who was 99 cents, was deported to Italy. I want y'all to understand, a lot of people out here with foreign spouses for various reasons, right? You see Russell Simmons and a lot of them people that went over to Asia. You see, oh boy, I mean, this is not a hater, but it's real facts. Morris Invest sold his $1 million house, got on a one-way plane, him, his wife, and his kids, and went to Portugal and never came back, even though they have court dates here in America for fraud because they won't come back. So again, they don't care about these loans. They care about the tax part. Okay. So her husband's in Italy. Well, you know how that goes. But anyway, like Donald Trump's grandparents are not here. His wife's parents, of course. So again, the biggest part here is the penalties for willful failure to file federal income tax under Section 7203 of the tax code is where they're getting these folks. Right? Right? Sharon Osbourne, just because you're paying somebody doesn't mean they're doing the job correctly. Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. The Osbournes got hit with $1.7 million tax lien. And how were they able to go on about their way? It was because, we are paying our accountants. We had people doing our business for us. And this is why y'all got to understand, like, there's so many layers in between these people. That's why when I hear somebody say, well, I do my own taxes, I'm like, yikes. You got enough time in your day to read 700 pages of the tax code and know it and work your job and feed your children and take care of your spouse and okay. Cool. Okay, cool. I'd much rather have that buffer there, be able to blame the buffer, get a grace, and go on about your day. All right. So again, the feds alleged that the Christies hid monies from the IRS rather than pay taxes. So they didn't say they don't have it. They said they got the money in the house and other places and other research. Now, he said, Chrisley said, obviously the federal government likes my tax returns because I pay $750,000 to $1 million every year. So how does the federal government have a problem with my taxes? See, this is always going to be his defense. I pay like $1 million a year. If something was wrong, somebody should have alerted me. I have accountants. I have a business partner. I'm on TV. I'm too busy. There's many layers between me and the paperwork. See, if you just regular Joe Smo who's driving and don't file your extra 1099, the IRS like, baby, quit playing with us. It's just you, right? So again, same thing. The dude from the Jersey Shore, same thing. He was accused, and this is where they get caught. I want y'all to understand how it's not about like they don't care about the bank loan, dude. Like these banks, that's why when y'all sit here on the internet and argue about small amounts of money, it's like making 6 figures is a big deal. We not even in the game, y'all. Like we're not even in the game. The average PPP person got $150,000 to $350,000. You only sent off a red flag to the IRS and to the government on the PPPs if you had like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. There were people with 10 companies. I mean, we pulled it up. We did videos on it on here where they had 10 companies, or one trucking company had 10 divisions, and each division got $150,000, $350,000. Okay, are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Does this make sense? Put a 1 in the comments if it does. Drop your city and state if it makes sense. If it doesn't, you can let me know. But Mike, the situation, the abs guy on Jersey Shore, was accused of taking money from companies he controlled. See that keyword? He controlled to pay for personal expenses like high-end vehicles, high-end clothes, and personal grooming expenses, but claimed they were legitimate business expenses. Him and his brother pleaded tax evasion charges, and 2018 were sentenced to prison and restitution. The IRS is willing to work with you if you can't pay your taxes because experiencing financial difficulty. They can range from a temporary code to collections. But you gonna pay if you avoid the taxes we coming. Now, here's why I keep trying to tell y'all this man is not going to jail. It's of no financial benefit to the government. If somebody is paying $750,000 to $1 million in taxes every year, they want that check to keep coming. This trial is trying to figure out what do we need to do for you to get you to keep writing that check and give us the extra that you kept off to the side. The bank fraud is just to get you softened up so that you will cut some more money. And be like, the IRS come to you, be like, hey, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna cut us a $4 million check. Okay, cool, we'll do it. Cool, we'll do it. That's what that is. Okay, that's what it is, y'all. Okay. Now, in 2019, Todd took to Instagram to address the charges, blaming a former employee seeking revenge. Again, this was a second man. This wasn't the man that's his business partner. This was a second man that he said we messed around with. He messed around with me, and I helped them fill this paperwork. And then when he dumped me and fired me, I went and told the IRS and the FBI and the Atlanta feds. So already his attorney can say, Chrisley didn't know about this. This man was applying for paperwork independent of Chrisley's knowledge. He just signed the paperwork. Now, when you talk about $50 million in loans, what's really getting them in this trial is the fact that his business partner, the one he messed with too, allegedly, went to the bank sometime and impersonated Chrisley. This is a no-no. This is no, you can't, even if you're the business manager, you can't go sign. You can't do that. You can't pretend to be somebody else. That's a no-no. So anyway, so of course, Thomas J. Hall in the third, a special agent in Atlanta field office, said, listen, notice that the IRS has zero tolerance for individuals trying to shrink their tax responsibilities. Okay, we're going to do our part to get this man. Aggressively find and crack down individuals who try to conspire with others to hide their income and then lie to federal agents when confronted. Honest and law-abiding taxpayers are fed up with the likes of these who use deceit and fraud to line their pockets at their expense. Now, why did he say that? Why did he say that? They know they don't want this man in jail. This man pays $1 million in taxes every year. They don't want him in jail. That's not who they want. They want big people in jail. This guy right here, they want him to go back out, make more money, and get about their face and go cut them a check. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Again, you can see more here. The Chrisleys. And of course, there's a response he had at one point I thought was nice. He said, you know, marriages are hard when you get a third party involved. Don't do that. It makes a mess. So he didn't say he was gay. And even on another part, he says, I'm shocked y'all think I'm getting it on both sides. That's crazy. He never answers it. Okay. He never does. So again, this is a federal trial. Okay. For committing bank fraud and tax evasion. Again, y'all, they don't care. They don't care about these banks. These banks are actually probably more embarrassed that they're being listed in this indictment, because then guess what happens? Not only do they say, how'd you let him apply for this? Why did you accept these documents? Who in this bank office, loan office, regional office accepted these documents? See, that's when they don't want that. They don't want that. That's why the first who absolved the $20 million were quick to go ahead and absolve him of that 20 million, because they don't want that digging around. They don't want the government digging around. Like, hey, we just forgive him of his loan. It's cool. Yeah, we'll take the bankruptcy right out. We're good. Bye. Peace out. Because they don't want federal government like, who approved this loan? And why is it approved? Who approved it? Okay. So they don't want that. Nobody wants that. So again, here it is. Bank fraud, 5 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy United States, 1 count of bank fraud, of tax fraud. The Christies are also Julie, his wife. Hey. Okay, with the noise. Okay, very loud, ma. Okay, so hold on, y'all. Okay, so anyway, the Chrisleys were initially so again, let's get back focused. Sorry, his wife is also charged with 1 count of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. She's married. It's her husband. She says she don't know. She don't know. That's the law. You know what I'm saying? Spousal protection. And then on top of that, she can always play like, well, they told me to go to the bank and wire this thing. I didn't know. Y'all, you understand? Ain't nobody going to jail in this. So let me just go ahead and keep finishing. The Chrisleys were initially indicted on tax evasion charges in 2019, August 2019. And then indicted on a new file this February this year. Now, come on, y'all. It's been 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 3 years almost, right? So here they go. Prosecutors allege the couple submitted fake documents to the bank when applying for loans. Julie Chrisley also submitted a false credit report and false bank statements when trying to rent a house in California. Then the couple refused to pay rent a few months after staying in the home. This part right here ain't gonna hold, baby. First of all, if you're a landlord or a property management company, if I come in there, anybody in the chat right now, can we come and give them a credit report at an apartment complex? Yeah, this is my credit report. Here you go. Look, for real, y'all. Can we go to any apartment complex right now and say, "Hey, man, this is my credit report. Yada yada yada. This is the one right here." Nah, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You can't just say, "Hey, here's my credit report. Y'all go ahead and take this on down the road, and let's go ahead and get in here." Fake bank statements. She can say, "All thank you. All they want is pay stubs." Exactly. Y'all, they gonna shake this like nothing. There's only 70 likes in here and about 300 people in here. Give me some likes, y'all. Let me see here. All right, let me go ahead in here. Okay. Oops. Anyway, so again, that already is not gonna stick. You know what's not gonna stick? At best, and here's the twofold why it ain't gonna stick. First of all, it's California. California's on rent moratorium like crazy. That ain't gonna stick. Number two, who's the place for? Because for kids or for whoever, she could have said, "Hey, I told staff to print me off these bank forms and these in this report, and I just brought it with me. I didn't know. I didn't know the information wasn't valid." Again, this is all very easy. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't print it off the printer. Who printed it off the printer? Somebody on staff printed it off the printer. I don't know, right? Who burden of proof is it to prove that these bank statements and these credit reports are real? The landlord who's renting you the place. What it is they rent it off a name. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. It's just one of those things. There you go. Exactly. Verifiable income, history of rent rolls. That's way more info than a credit report. Exactly. This guy, that part is a flimsy case. She's going to be out of it. She's going to be out of it. Okay. Who approved the loans? I'm telling you, that's what they're going to be asking. Who approved these loans? The IRS is on Duns and Bradstreet, meaning they're a business guy. Business is there to make money. There you go. Let's see what else. Tennis star Boris Becker is in prison in Germany for hiding assets right now. There you go. Here's my biggest thing I want y'all to understand. Steve is thank you. If Steve Harvey could go get caught up, that is what it is. Steve Harvey can get caught up. They're gonna look at the rest of it like y'all might as well get in there. Now, here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing what I want them to do is what they're gonna want from them. The truth of this is something, some cash. That's all this is. This is not a, oh my God, they're gonna go to jail. Like there's no incentive to put rich people in jail. There's none, y'all. There's none. Not even this. Look at this part. The Chrisleys also used the film production company they controlled to hide money to keep the artists from collecting unpaid taxes owed by Todd Chrisley. In 2019, Todd Chrisley denied any wrongdoing in a lengthy Instagram post. He said he was aware his and wife were going to be named in a federal indictment for tax evasion and probably a bunch of financial crimes. Okay, listen, y'all, you can't cancel someone with a fallen. I keep telling y'all that. I know y'all think I'm making it up, but you can't. Guess what? They're gonna have a show after this, like life after this, like, and they signed these contracts for these reality shows years in advance. The Kardashians had it signed up for years because they were trying to lock them in at certain price points. Okay, that's the whole point. What does Todd Chrisley do? And again, what I tell y'all, there's a certain level that you get into that you are just a business investor, and there's a business manager over your projects. He has a business partner that manages. Again, this is how they get out of these arguments. Right? I have a company. I have a business manager. I didn't know the business manager was acting up. We removed the manager. We got new management in town. Let's work together. IRS. This is business as old as time. And this is why when people try to tell me these crazy stories, I'd be like, well, who was the business manager? Who's your accountant? Where's your QuickBooks? Where's your Chamber of Commerce? Where's your attorney? Like, I started asking 50 people. And people say, Ericka, where's your team? I have different parts of my business that has a team. Different parts don't have a team, right? They just don't. And some of them need, or we just changing team out, different things like that. So anyways, here you go. On the fake bank statements. How hard is it to call a financial statement? Like, you can literally call the person who signed the financial statement and stamped it. Do y'all know what a financial statement looks like? There's two different types. So there's one where you go to the bank. Hey, I'm the accountant for this account. The Chrisleys have 2.7 million inside the account. These documents that I just printed off and handed it to her are correct. Here, sign, account manager, whatever. And you take the documents on. Now there's another one where you fill out an actual financial statement, your assets, your liabilities, and all that good stuff. They're in California. Who did they rent from? And what did they give them? Again, they're saying they use these millions of dollars in loans, which is $50 million, if you guys want to know the number, for their personal benefit from 2007 to 2012. Now, here's the problem with this. These folks tried to let the good times roll too hard. I mean, again, they're going to dig into Chrisley was flying back and forth to LA to get his hair cut and Botox in his face and just silly mess. But when you're getting 50 million in loans, my argument to the Chrisleys at this point is, why are we not buying something, investing in something every month at this point? If we're needing $500,000 to $600,000 a month to live, and this is why your staffs allegedly, I gotta keep saying that, allegedly filed these false statements and bank applications for you because you need this much money to live, and sometimes you pay off one loan with another loan, which is the definition of being over leveraged. Who was not in their circle? And this is the problem. If you look at American Greed and a lot of these shows, the person gets so caught up in the scheme of the scheme, right? Just getting more loans, that they don't get focused on the other part of the business, which is actually acquiring assets, growing the actual business. So again, I don't feel bad for this California property owner, because everybody else knows they would have been. I'm gonna call the bank. I need you to log in and show me. I need you to do this, right? This is true. It says, didn't Wesley Snipes go to prison for the same? Exactly. Wesley Snipes had the same problem as Steve Harvey. Except Wesley Snipes didn't have the money to pay back. Like, and that again, at some point in this equation, you pay your attorneys, you pay your accountants. Let's say they do run off with the money. What are you doing with the other money? There's no reserve. There's no investments. There's nothing we can liquidate in an extreme emergency. At this high numbers, it's a mindset thing, right? So again, okay. So then basically said his son or daughter from previous relationships have been in odds of very years, very sketchy stuff. It happens. You're grown kids. Let's be honest. We've seen families where the dad or mom gets remarried and the kids are pissed because they're not involved in the new life and the new living lifestyle of the new life. That does happen. We've seen that. We've seen that. Okay. So again, the California property owner, I don't feel bad for them. The whole eviction thing, I get that. That makes sense. Yeah. Monies the Chrisley received from the television show went to a company they controlled. Keyword, that word controlled doesn't mean they were in it. Doesn't mean they worked it. Ew, Bud Light. That's nasty. 7C Productions, but they didn't declare it as income on federal tax returns. The couple failed to file or pay their federal income taxes on time for multiple years. This is not uncommon. A lot of people pay late, do their taxes late. You're still obliged. You still have to do it again. This is not me giving financial advice. This is not me. I'm not a licensed tax preparer. You have to be preparing your documents, but you can, keyword there, get extensions again carefully. And again, I'm not a life. This is an opinion show. Let's do it that way. Peter Toronto, an accountant hired by the Christie, is also charged. See, this is where, you know, this is how you know it's from. It's not the inside. It's like the lover, right? Because the accountants usually be the first person to roll. Be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Cut me a check. I'm rolling right now. But Peter is an accountant hired by the Chrisleys, and he has one count of conspiracy to defraud the United States and two counts of willfully file false tax returns. He is set to stand trial alongside the Chrisleys, and they're doing this on purpose to make him roll. But this is the thing: if you're an accountant and you don't ride this thing through to get what I would call vindicated, not just vindicated, but like I'm not guilty and I keep my license, what is that accountant going to do in the future? And this is the thing I want y'all to understand. In our society, we don't value people getting older because we think that means loss of income, power, whatever. And that's very, again, the word I used in the beginning, transitional points are dangerous. You should be able to have enough assets in the 50s and 60s that if somebody says, hey man, you got to do this or we're going to do this or that. Okay, well, peace out. I'm out of the game. You know what I mean? I can go do something else. And that's where a lot of YouTubers are and podcasters and other people are. So again, well, why does this happen? Why is the Chrisleys happening to them like this? When you talk about people about responsibility and not just showing up, a lot of people, if you talk to them and they're in their 30s to 50s, they're like, well, where's the stuff to do in town? Where's the party at? Where's the events? The town should have more conferences. This should happen. They're kind of in a position of things should happen to me, or I just walk out my door and opportunity just falls in my lap. I remember I worked at Lowe's and there were a bunch of 40s and 50-year-old people in there, and I was like a teenager. And people were like, man, in the 90s, you used to have jobs everywhere, right? Or there was a lady in there, her and her husband went to Iraq 3 years in a row, making 100 bands at the beginning of the war in the mailroom. And on the way, when they came back, her husband didn't feel good one day, had a heart attack and died. Well, she said, okay, well, she buried him. And, she paid off some bills. And then the IRS came and said, hey, your husband didn't pay the 3 years before y'all went over to Iraq. So we going to need some payments from the 3 years before y'all did the 3 years over there. So she said she was so mad she could have reached in the grave, slapped him, and buried him again. Because all this money she thought she could just live off of because they didn't have proper insurance. It is what it is. She was like, oh, crap. All this money that I had just sought to the side that I thought was going to be good with this $50K, I got to turn around and pay the IRS. And so now she was working at Lowe's in her 50s like, man, it was good times. And I literally, as a teenager, and this how you know I've been Ericka Williams my whole life. I was just like, what'd you do with the money? Everybody else in the room was looking at me like, what? I'm like, what'd you do with the money? She's like, well, I lived. We traveled. We had nice cars. We lived well till you had a heart attack. And I'm sitting there like, in my head, I'm like, that's dumb. Right? Even at 19, 20, I'm like, that's stupid. Like, who would do that? So, it's one of those things. So, let me see. Okay, so again, I know I'm going off the tangent on the stories, but again, they said they filed false corporate tax returns, make like the company wasn't making any money. Never do that. Make it like you're making something, y'all. Never do that. Are the Chrisleys still on TV? Yes. The series has been renewed for a USA for a 10th season, while the spinoff Growing Up Chrisley and featuring the Chrisley kids Chase and Savannah living in Los Angeles, keywords there, was just renewed for a 4th season. So if y'all know anything about the Kardashians, these kids got breaking off money, okay? E also announced that they're also moving forward with their new dating series called Love Limo, hosted by Todd Chrisley, days before the trial set. Why did they do that? Why did they do that in the chat? Talk to me. There's over 312 people here. Why did they just announce all these shows while this trial's going? Because they are going to milk this trial and this internet buzz for all it's worth. They USA is, the cheapest show to produce. Because to produce real live television shows, it costs like anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million per episode. But when you have reality TV, they can almost get these shows down to, I think they were saying one time, like they're paying the staff and everybody maybe like for the whole production of the show is like $50,000, $50,000 or less than $100,000 per episode. You know what I'm saying? And so exactly, it's distraction. Bad publicity is still public. Exactly. So people are going to be watching the show, looking for him to say something crazy, looking for him to be cutting up. This is and they've already signed these contracts, y'all. They're going to get the money out of this. Reality TV shows have a low cost because they're in people's houses and restaurants. Yeah. He must have seen the Steve Harvey episode. He not turning down no jobs. You got to do all the jobs. And that's part of the argument. That's what I'm telling y'all. They want public support. Yeah, they're not going to go to jail because this is where it's going to say, look, we have all these contracts. We got it signed up. We'll pay the IRS whatever money they say. We'll reissue whatever reports you say is messed up. We'll fix it, whatever you say. We'll get it done. Right? We're living listen, this is the perfect part of it too. After leaving the Atlanta suburbs, because Atlanta does have that scam culture, whatever. Now they live in Nashville, right? Nashville, if you don't understand what I'm talking about with Nashville, it is like the new LA. Nashville, Atlanta, and I'm not gonna say Austin. Austin has a lot of stars living there, but Nashville and Atlanta has more reality TV shows going on. So now when they left Atlanta, right? They had to get out of Atlanta. He had too many boyfriends down there, probably. Allegedly. He had plans to open a Southern home cooking restaurant in Nashville. You already know what that means, okay? In addition to a classy champagne bar, the Chrisleys, who moved to Atlanta and Nashville in 2015. Now, this show been going on for 10 years now. Halfway through their gig, they like, we got to get up out of Atlanta, y'all. Get up out here. They said they're looking for a spot in Green Hills or BL Mead. And this is why when y'all be in here arguing with me about, it's a recession and it's a depression and all this stuff. I keep telling y'all, what are wealthy people doing? They're moving, they're opening businesses, they're owning the production company, they're filing for multiple banks, right? So think about this. Chrisley did all this probably with a bunch of Georgia banks. Then he went to Nashville. What do you think they were doing on Nashville banks? That's right. Elon Musk just got a $40 billion loan. Come on, y'all. I love this. If we're going to participate in something, I want to participate in something classy. You're not going to be here bar fighting, Chrissy says. This is a classier version. This dude is a full mess, y'all. He's on a classy bar. Let me go to the next one. Okay. So again, now because immediately the banks waived off. There you go. John Ditska said, thank you for the $5 super chat. Reality TV. Whoops, let me make sure this is showing up. Okay. Reality TV, when there was a Screenwriters Guild strike, TV stations needed something to show. TV has never been the same. Yeah, I remember a really great show, Pushing Daisies, was on, and they halfway through they didn't finish the episodes. I was like, no. They canceled their own future. Honestly, the strike them right out of business. Like, peace out. Now you're gonna have trash on TV. So anyway, so the reason it's a $30 million fraud trial and not a $50 million fraud trial is because I told y'all at the beginning of this, that banks went ahead and cut the whole $20 million out. They said, okay, cool. They filed for bankruptcy. We'll take 20K off the book, 20 million off the books. But American Express said, no, thank you. we would like our check. American Express ain't taking no apologies. Okay. So again, they're saying they use this to fund their lavish lifestyle and extravagant spending even before becoming TV stars. So what were they doing before they became TV stars? That's my big thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what they were doing. I mean, if it's going to list it here, that'd be great. But it's not, but I'll pull it up. But the Chrisley said they did nothing wrong and someone else had control of their finances. See how they did that there? Very smart. Okay. Federal prosecutors said the Chrisley's wealth was a lie. That's the best part. Federal prosecutors, they don't care. They're gonna talk bad about you. Federal prosecutors said that Chrisley's wealth was a lie, and the couple manufacturing documents and defrauded area banks. Key word. This is why. And I'm not, if you taking any of my classes and you hear me say it over and over again, these local banks. There's no, can y'all see the screen? Put a one in the comments if you can see the screen. If nothing's on the screen, let me know. Can y'all see the screen? Put a one in the comments if you can see the screen. Johnson, you can't see the screen. Okay, you can see it now. Good. Okay. This is why in my classes, and I'm not advocating any kind of bank fraud about that. Go to the local bank. Stop going to Chase. Stop going to Bank of America. Stop begging these big name companies that really want to kick you in your teeth until you get out of their office for money. It's the local banks. They have millions of dollars to give, and they're going to give it. You just got to have documentation. You got to have that QuickBooks. You just got to put it together. I'm telling you, they're literally, I think Cameron put it in the chat. He's like, I took your 1-page business plan book. It's a testimonial on there. He's like, I got 30K from a bank. And he's like, that's old. I've gotten millions of dollars now. You know what I mean? And so when I be telling y'all, the students that follow what I put in the books, that's why I laugh when y'all don't finish the course. I'm like, I literally put step by step in some of these courses, how to do things. I'm telling you, go find 20 of their smallest banks in your local area. And that's all these people do. That's all these builders do. That's all these small developers do. They go find the local bank. The local bank's going to be patient with you. Local bank know where your house at, where your cousin at. They know you in the Chamber of Commerce. They know where to find you. And y'all out here be playing games. I'm telling you. So again, that's why they said area banks. That's why when they moved to Nashville, that's why this court is so pushed on this, because what does a local Atlanta bank have over somebody living in Nashville? Not much. I mean, they can call their Nashville bankers and say, hey, this is what's going on. The 1-page business plan, it's literally called the 1-page business plan. It's like $47. It's like a hot seller with our tax link course and our ads. But I'm telling you, like, I've put up testimonials for years and tell y'all how to put this stuff together and go. And they literally go make a list. And I'm saying this not to freak anybody out for this summer, but go make a list of at least 20 banks in your area and see what they say. Like, if you're working on your personal credit and it's decent and you got an actual business that has some funds coming in, go do this. Even if you're a dang on Uber drivers in here that listen to me, there's 2 guys in here that booked a call with me. They had got a $20,000 from the PPP loan, and they were just Uber drivers who did what? Put their money from Uber driving in a separate business bank account. So that they were independent. They were 1099, right? So a lot of times y'all don't listen on here, and I laugh because I'm like, they make this stuff so easy. This is why people break their necks to come to America, y'all. We can't even identify exactly how they got there. We can't even identify, which I'm going to finish this so we can figure it out. But anyway, they go and let me see. It says Todd Chrisley, he did this on Instagram where they have 2.3 million followers. It involves all kinds of bad stuff like creating phony documents, forging our signatures, and threatening other employees with violence if they said anything. Do you see how they set that up? You see how they just got themselves get out of free card? They threaten other employees with violence if they said anything. So again, it's not us. We didn't apply for these bank loans. We have no clue who did such things, right? See how that played out? Okay, so now the government claims that Christie made $6 million, y'all. Oh my God. $6 million. There you go. Thank you so much, Purple Girl. $6 million on the first 4 seasons of the reality show, then tried to hide the money in efforts to avoid paying taxes of $500,000. Y'all, that's so serious. That's so ridiculous. That is that's ridiculous. Let me finish. At one point, even transferring ownership of the company into the name of Todd's mama, Nanny Faye, on the show, y'all. Can y'all? They just used a senior citizen person. Oh my God, that is terrible. But I mean, I'm not calling no names, but I will say it. There is a young lady out here who's marketing her courses, and she says when she hit her husband with her car, or she almost tried to shoot him or something like that, and she had to go to jail, she transferred the business to her mama name. So people do this. This is not uncommon. That's why when y'all be out here talking about, look at all these black people PPP fraud, I'm like, y'all not even talking about real money. 20K is not real money. You talking about $500,000 back taxes? You talking about 1 million every year they're paying in back taxes? Like, how you on TV playing with the government? The government ain't playing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing. That's crazy. That's trifling. The Christie's attorney go, there's no conspiracy to attempt to evade taxes, and that they were just inattentive and follow bad advice, y'all. They just didn't know, y'all. During open statements, Todd Chrisley's attorney addressed the claims he made on the show about how much money they had and said a bunch of reality TV is scripted and made up. This is what's gonna get them off the hook, y'all. I just said what they wanted me to say on the show. Y'all, I keep trying to get y'all to understand. They're not going to jail. They're not going to jail. This is just a tip to get them to write a check. The federal prosecutors started with the first witnesses Tuesday, a bank employee and an IRS agent. This is why I'm laughing, because if you at that bank, that's why them banks that's why those initial, it was $50 million, $20 million off the table. Immediately was like, oh no, we'll just forgive the loan. We'll forgive the loan. Because they did not want this. They did not want this man. They did not want to come to trial and explain, how did you approve this bank statement? How did you approve this loan? Who did you speak to at the regional office? What y'all got to understand is relationships are more powerful than paperwork. When those guys or girls came in there to those banks, those small regional banks, oh my God, we got Todd Chrisley's bank account. We got a bank account here with this famous person. They were probably rubber stamping them loans, y'all. That's the part they don't want to address. That they were rubber stamping, and they don't got caught. That's why they forgiven the loans. Okay, let me get this off. Now, why is this important in conjuncture? All right, I'll go real country bumpkin on this. There's too many layers between them and the money. Exactly, Thomas. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say. You can't put them in. They're gonna say we weren't paying attention. We had a business manager. We had an employee violently told the police if they didn't fake sign this paper, they was gonna be in trouble. Think about that. They are setting this up for just the okie dokie. There's no way you're gonna get them in jail. We were just poor mom and pop business owners. Local banks and credit unions, y'all. I keep telling y'all. The thing is, Matthew Cox was in prison with a whole lot of other white guys who did bank fraud. Matthew Cox was dumb. When I watched that show, I mean, this is the thing. It's a combination. Do they have an ability to repay? John, that's part of what it is. Do they have this ability to repay? And them being out of jail is what's going to be them being out of jail, them having all these TV shows. Hey man, if y'all just give us 1 year, we'll have the ability to pay. We'll go ahead and we'll just, like the next year, we're going to have a perfect accountant and we're going to cut an extra check. And because think about it, if the IRS is getting $1 million check from him anyway, every year, they don't want him in jail. They just want some money running. And when the bank asked for serious documents, that's when he started to prance as a distraction. But the banks will take grandma's house for $1,500 and past due payments. That's what I keep telling y'all. They don't like it when they have to really have to do If you're really poor, I mean, this is just unfortunate. If you're really poor, it's work to have to do your paperwork. So anyway, Sister Soldier said, I've seen this play out on American Greed time and time again. Max is 3 to 5 years at Club Fed and on to the next scam. Listen, go watch Wall Street Trapper. He said the man that was in jail for 2 years that taught him how to do stocks was like, you went to jail for what? You doing 10 years for that's no money. Black people don't know how to make, like essentially saying black people go to jail for a stupid amount of money. It's true. Over and over again. Stupid, small stuff, robbing stores, stupid shit, small amounts of money. This guy that Wall Street Trapper taught Wall Street, he said, yeah, I took $2 million from my company and I'm gonna do it again. Or I'll do it bigger and get less time. You know what I mean? Like, this is what people don't understand, the amount of money. Relationships are more powerful on paper. Way more powerful. Way more. There's 350 people here. Make sure you hit the like button. So let me kind of close this on out, I think. Here with the last, why am I bringing this up? What does this matter? Why is this tie in? Because a lot of people fear getting older. Todd Chrisley, he called off these relationships, quotation only marks, alleged relationships. And when he called them off, because he's getting older here, for whatever reason, he want to go on to the next phase of life. They came back to get him, right? If you notice in London or UK movies or BBC, right, British television, the actors that are in their peak in their prime are in their 40s to 60 years old. Only in America do we have this is over the top obsession with young, being youthful. The thing is, if you're alive and you mess up, you could live to do some more again. And the problem with this, the Chrisleys, is their mindset. They were in transitional points and it was dangerous. Again, I want y'all to understand, if you don't hear nothing else from what I said today, transitional points are dangerous because you take in your mind when they were getting ready to pack up and leave Atlanta, they didn't care, like, okay, we out of here. So what? We out of here. We on to the next. And that's where they got him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where when he dumped those dudes, that's where it got him. You know what I'm saying? I meet countless people who are 30, 35 to 55 that are super highly valuable, lots of investments, living their best life, happy, some not married, some with no kids. And so this ideal that, you get 40 or 50, everything falls apart and the world is over. That's just not true. You even see here in our comments, there's people that watch this channel and they're like, I'm 50 with a 4-year-old. People who have the right mindset as they're getting older aren't in this rush to do stupid stuff. They just keep adding value to themselves. Right? That's what they do. They keep adding value. And that's why he's gonna win. That's why he's gonna win. And he's not gonna go to jail. There's no winning in putting him in jail. Right? So there you go. Exactly. The mindset is why young people find a job and put their brain all about it. It really is. John said, I'm 56 years old. I'm telling you, a lot of y'all gonna live another 20, 30 years to you in your 80s and 90s with the way they got medicine going out here. So to do crazy stuff, it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense. Okay, so anyway, let me show you why this is important, right? Why is the Chrisley thing important? What is it tying to regular people? About 62 million credit card holders had their limits cut and card counts closed involuntarily in the first 4 months of 2021. Banks were doing what? They were protecting themselves. And when people are on here advocating for you to get more and more credit cards, I go, y'all, credit cards, they can cut. Now, they can cut lines of credit too. But your goal is, when I talk about real estate and investing in land and all this other stuff, it's so that you have options, right? So let's say they cut everything from you today and you've got like a 2 or 3 acres somewhere. You can do 4 or 5 different things. You could either make it into an RV park, trailer park. Where are you going?
I'm going out to Dolly's.
Okay. You leave me a key?
There's a key in there.
Okay. So, they're going to shrink these credit cards anytime they want. If you pay attention, I keep trying to tell y'all, pay attention to what a lot of these wholesalers are doing. There's one wholesaler, Nick Perry, I brought him on here. He's investing in oil and gas out there in Conroe. He's in Florida. He's in other parts. They do other stuff as seasons shift. There's a great book by Gary Keller that says Shift, right? All these real estate agents that have no rentals, they looking like this. They're like, oh Lord, help us, Lord, the economy, right? But most real estate agents either have a husband or a spouse that's appraiser or a mortgage loan person. Dominic? No, with the John.
Huh?
Dominic's gone with John.
Do you have the GPS?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And so what ends up happening, sorry, y'all, apologize. So what ends up happening is a lot of these folks should already common sense. If you read any of Gary Keller's books, he's like, if you're an agent and you don't have no rentals, what are you doing? That's part of what he taught in the facility in Austin, where it all started. You should have rentals. You should have other options working for you, other assets, because you don't have no retirement. You're a real estate agent. So again, people, oh, Ericka, credit cards, credit cards. If you look on YouTube right now, it's credit card video city. I just want y'all to understand that I'm not going to sit here and sell y'all every day talking about credit cards. I'm going to talk to you about bank loans, investing in land, having other opportunities. Is the screen coming up? Yeah, it is. I'm going to talk to you about long term because it's part of it is what I'm doing, and transitional points are dangerous. You sit out here and hang out on credit cards all you want to, and if they cut them this summer, which I slightly feel they're going to do, that's part of the issue. This whole trial is a distraction. People like Chrisley going to be fine. He's in Nashville. He's moving where the money's at, where the money reside. He out there making moves. They're going to be fine. And this is what people don't understand. The people that are producers, they'll be fine. They probably could. And the sad part about this is it's really about mindset. They could make $500,000 off a sponsored post on Instagram over the course of the next 90 days and pay their IRS. It's the mindset that caught them. You dig what I'm saying? It's the mindset. And you got to be careful. You got to have good counsel. That's the problem, right? You can't have this immediate stuff. Y'all want something right now. Diamond Dave did a great job on it. That's why people don't buy houses. And I'm being careful, but people don't buy houses or start businesses because they think, well, I ain't gonna get something right now. I ain't gonna buy no house. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no husband. I ain't gonna buy no house right now. I just want to run around renting. And then they look up 10 years is going by. And I saw this at my church, where the young people that were unmarried were, some of the older ones were 50 years old. I'm like, man, I wish I'd have bought a house 10 years ago in Austin. It's too late now. Like you can't, it's the short-term mindset that wears y'all out. If the Christies are saying they need $500,000 a month to survive and live, and that's what triggered the employees to do this, allegedly, quotation marks, allegedly, they should have been, what things can we buy in Atlanta? What real estate can we buy? What buildings are we buying? What business partnerships can we do? Which I'm pretty sure they were trying to do the more business partnerships, but where can we connect and grow? It should have been their mindset for at least a year and a half. Because that first part of avoiding $500,000 and putting a business in his mama name should have been the first flag that we are either over leveraged or we got to go find some stuff to do and partner together. So, here's that, but you can check it out. You can see all that there. And again, here is for those of you who asked for Ericka, you just quoting different articles. No. You got to go here to the United States Attorney Office, Northern District of Georgia. Here's the actual documentation. Federal grand jury indicts Chrisley knows best star Todd and Julie Chrisley. Okay, this is August 13th, 2019. This is the official. You can actually go here. This is their official government website. They ain't playing with y'all. They naming names all in this stuff right here. This is 2019. Todd Chrisley's 51. He's an old 51. I don't care what y'all say. Julie's 46. She looks like somebody's mama in her 50s. Okay. Of Tennessee are also charged with conspiracy with Georgia accountant. Basic account Peter Tantero, 56, of Milton, Georgia. They too young to be doing stupid stuff. Too young. So anyways, they alleged for 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016 tax turn. Think about that. We are in 2019. And now we're in 2022. And they talking about 2013? Man, if y'all don't go somewhere with that, cut them a check and move on with your life. So anyway, you got down here attested, Annalise K. Peters. That's kind of funny. Almost like Annalise Keaton from How to Get Away with Murder. Anyway, they're all on here. You can read this information. It's federal information. And then this is Fox News Atlanta. They be hating. They got to get some news up in there. So again, y'all, I hope this was useful. I hope this information was helpful. I hope you didn't just find it as a gossip. This was really me just trying to educate y'all on taxes and information and the fact that local banks forgave somebody $20 million instead of going to court and being like, oh, wow, we rubber stamped this. They rather just, I'm going to forgive it. $20 million. And we out here talking about, oh, PPP 20K. That ain't nothing. The average 20 PPP person, if they had real paperwork, got 150 to 300,000. The people that was in here throwing together fake paperwork, loose paperwork, blank paperwork, got them 20K checks and got stupid. So, did you have any questions? They looking old. They're looking old for 45 and 50. They looking a little older. Sometimes we have kids young. You do makeup and do stuff to your face. You start looking old. So, no, he's not rich. See, this is the difference. This you were not listening, S400. You weren't listening. Young Thug is not rich. Young Thug is stupid. Young Thug is racketeering. Young Thug is running around with drugs and guns in the car. The Chrisleys are so far removed with multiple layers of people that they're like, who? What? Employees? Accountants? Who? Not me. It wasn't me. It was them. I don't know who. See, Young Thug is out there rapping in a song that he physically is somewhere doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm physically shooting in the club. You know what I mean? And again, that's why I keep telling y'all, that if you pay attention, that a lot of these folks are getting into government contracts. You don't want to play with government contracts. You don't want to have no funny business around there. You dig what I'm saying? They getting into building houses because this is old as time, right? Again, some people gonna build 1 or 2 vacation rentals and pull $3 million out of them and cash out refi. It's a different level game. And if they smart, they take that 3 million, buy a bunch of rentals somewhere near it or adjacent, or barbell theory where you have some cheap rentals over here and some expensive rentals, a combination, so that if a recession happens, it don't matter because you got tenants over here still paying, you got tenants over here still paying. I hope y'all understand that. There's 360 people in here. We've been here an hour. That was what I had for y'all today. And the one-page business plan, you can see it here. Let me see, pull it up. See right here. But that's how I know y'all be reading them comments. I be posting them testimonials left and right. I post them all the time, baby. I don't be playing. Hold on, let me share the screen. Y'all. Thank you for this. There's a $1 billion economy around Tesla plant in Austin, Texas. I was there 3 weeks ago. Listen, honey, people keep asking why I'm in Austin. You just bump into people. They're like, hey, I'm investing in apartments down the street. What do you think? I'm like, what? That's an everyday occurrence. All right, so this is the Big Real Estate Life School, which is classicaligners.com. These are some of the... Now, you go to about page 4, because I just know how this is. And this is the one-page business plan. It's been a classic. It's been making money for people. Getting money for your business is the other one. But I would say this one right here, if you follow this one right here, just this one, y'all, and see what I'm talking about inside, how to set it up, how to put it together. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Call me when you do it. Call me when you do it, and call me when you find your local banks and you hand it to them. Tell me what they tell you. I always tell people, if you buy that course, I don't mind talking to you. You do that course and you do a testimony, I don't mind talking to you. Because everybody out here is obsessed about, oh, your credit score has got to be this, your credit score that. Honey, relationships matter more than that paper. If y'all ever figure that out, y'all would be winning. But everybody ain't going to figure it out. So, again, thank you guys so much for being here. This is your girl, Ericka. Classic Climb Bug. Hold on, somebody said I'm having a problem resetting my password on the site to access the course. I brought some courses. Go ahead and email us at admin@classyclimbers.com. I don't work on Sunday, but Enrique do. So what you'll probably see is an email from us tomorrow morning on Monday, because they ain't got no holiday where they at, and we'll either create a new password for you or make sure you're flat. Because a lot of y'all have applied with different emails sometimes on accident. So that happens up. Okay, hold on, you guys. All right, you guys. This is your girl, Ericka, Classic Climb Blog. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have been wonderful. I hope you go check that course out. It is worth it. All right, y'all.